everybody. Thanks for joining me for a look at our work week forecast. If you're getting tired of winter and cold, and we've been particularly quite cold over the last few days here for late winter or maybe early spring if you want to be generous with the seasons here in Vermont. We are going to see a significant warm-up this week, the second half of this week, actually starting tomorrow, although the warmest days will be towards the end of the week. And we're going to see some sun as part of that. Not a lot of precipitation. There will be a front that moves through towards the end of the week that will bring a few showers, but not significant rain, and we will definitely melt a lot of snow in the higher elevations where there still is significant snowpack. A lot of places well over of a foot to 2 feet of snow still in huge snowbanks. Lower elevations where there's already not much snow, if you're in the Connecticut River Valley, if you're down in the Bennington area, up through Rutland, a lot of those areas will see all their snow except for snow piles probably go by the end of the week. So if that hasn't already happened, some places that's actually already happened. But yeah, so that's what's happening. Not a lot of super exciting weather, but it'll be nice weather if you've been looking forward to just feeling it be a little bit warmer out there as we go. So surface map shows you what's going on. You have this high pressure over the southeastern United States, just big, starting to dominate. Notice on the western side of high pressure, you start to get that southwesterly flow, and you've got a lot of air being pumped up. We've got a couple of warm fronts associated with these two low pressure systems. These warm fronts are going to move through this evening and overnight tonight. That will look on satellite, but there's not really much associated with them. There will be a few clouds overnight tonight and maybe a sprinkle or a flurry depending on your elevation, but nothing significant. This cold front will kind of come through, and it will briefly tomorrow hold our temperatures back from getting really warm tomorrow, but it doesn't really take much of a punch, and then we kind of reestablish the southwesterly flow that will basically dominate until a more significant cold front moves through basically Friday afternoon or Friday midday and really starts to knock temperatures back. Satellite imagery, like I said, there's those warm fronts. There's not much at all impressive on satellite imagery here with those. They will pick up a little bit more moisture. The clouds should actually develop more clouds. Right now there's nothing going on radar there. I do think there'll be a couple of sprinkles. It'll happen overnight. You probably won't even notice. There could be a couple flurries. It's really a non-event. And then a couple of pieces of energy are going to try to come up kind of across this southwestern flow. The first one isn't really going to bring with it much besides some clouds when it gets here, which is associated with this piece. And then eventually another storm kind of develops between this piece of energy and this piece of energy and drapes the front across us as we head towards the end of the week. If we want to take a quick look at temperatures, we can see it's definitely warming up across the center part of the country, and that is the weather that's headed in our direction. So you can look, that's why we're going to warm up. And we can see that that's happening because of this very large ridge that's developing over the center part of the country, and that is slowly moving. And it's a wide ridge. You can see it goes almost from coast to coast, and the good thing about that is it means it will give us several days. This isn't just going to be a one-day warm-up. It'll be a multi-day warm-up, and if you're, like I said, if you've been ready for that, then there you go. There's a lot of snow at the ski area, so this will not, certainly it will lessen the snowpack, but and it might make skiing, if you've been skiing in the woods or things like that, that'll probably might be a little less, you have to be pretty ambitious after this warm-up, but in terms of snow on groomed trails, we'll still have plenty of snow to keep the ski season going just fine. So it's not that kind of snow. And you'll get a chance to do some spring skiing if you happen to be here this week. It'll feel like spring skiing the end of the week, and that can be a lot of fun. It'll be slushy, but it'll be good. Before I give you the details on exactly how warm we're going to get, I want to just remind you that if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, now's a great time to do that. It's the best way to follow me. You get updated. You can get push notifications sent to your phone whenever I come out with a new forecast, or when I do a detailed look at a specific storm. So go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done that before. And also you can follow me. If you don't follow me on social media, you should do that as well. I always give updates and announce when I'm putting out a weather forecast that way as well. So in terms of how warm is it going to get? Well, today's still kind of chilly. It's cold out there this morning. Have a little bit leftover cold air, but we'll be near 30 today. So we've been slowly warming up anyway. Like I said, basically sunny. There's a few clouds associated with that warm front in the afternoon. Slight chance of a flurry or sprinkle this evening. Really not a big deal. It's a good ski day, really good ski day. More of a winter ski day than we'll get the rest of the week. Tomorrow, we're sunny and warmer. It'll be breezy as But the real warm up doesn't quite start tomorrow. We'll be near 40 tomorrow, so continue to be warmer. Tomorrow's a great sugaring day. I would expect if you do if you make maple syrup, I would expect sap to run well tomorrow, and probably the rest of the week as well. But Wednesday, we start off still below freezing on Wednesday. That'll be the last time we go below freezing until probably Saturday. And so we'll be in the upper 20s. Highs will be near 50 on Wednesday. There will be a few clouds, especially during the afternoon. If you're skiing on Wednesday, it's going to feel like a spring ski day. Thursday, we really will be warm in the mid-50s, and the question about, we could get warmer than that if we see more breaks of sun. I think it'll be mostly cloudy Thursday. If we get an hour or two of sun, especially at the lower elevations, we'll be above 60. Even at the high elevations, even like up where I live at 1,000 feet or a little over 1,000 feet, if we get sun for a couple hours, I think I'll be close to 60. And if you don't have snow on the ground and you get sun for a couple hours on Thursday, 65 is not out of the question at all. So a really warm day on Thursday. That's the warmest day probably. Although Friday also is going to be plenty warm, although it starts to, in the afternoon, temperatures start to drop off. And winds will be pretty gusty on Friday as the front moves through. Nothing to be super worried about, but it will be gusty. So that's your look at your forecast this week. It's going to be nice, but it's also relatively tranquil weather. No big storms on the horizon, but if anything changes with that, I'll let you know. And we'll have to keep an eye on. We will head back towards a slightly more, a little less warm. We're not going to stay 60 the rest of the spring. That's not, unfortunately, how spring works here in Vermont. So I'll keep you up to date with that. I want to say a quick thank you to my patrons, excuse me, who help support what I do here, and thank them for the ways that they help me improve my equipment and also just support all these videos. And otherwise, we will see you on Friday for my work week forecast. Patrons get an early look at the weekend forecast on Wednesday, and if you want to do that, you can visit my Patreon site, and it shows you the different ways and the different things you get for being patrons at different levels. So, all right, thanks for joining me, and we'll be back on Friday.